Okay, alright, I think I'm live. So, what's up, warriors? Welcome to Portrait Bootcamp, week 176, lesson 122, feed 1, 2, 1 and 2 feedback live stream. Okay, and yeah, today we have some submissions and we're gonna critique some lesson 1 and lesson 2 files, alright? Hello to everybody in the chat. Hello to Ehab, hello to Alex, hello to Pills, and hello to Lindsay. Alright? So, with that said, let's jump straight into the submissions. So, we have Sanjana. Well, there we need some kind of background. Okay. Okay, and Sanjana says, hello, Julia. Last time I submitted a few weeks ago, you were gonna give me a green sword for my front view, but I didn't use the template. Okay, anyways, I took 3 weeks again and was able to finish 2 works, side and profile. Okay, I don't have many questions. I was just wondering, is my structure good? Am I ready or close to lesson 3? If not, what are the major things holding me back and how can I fix them? Okay, we will look into that. Also, a student helped me improve my lines from the profile to 3/4. I think they got better each time, but I will leave you to be the judge, okay? Thank you for your hard work. How was your weekend? Do you like horror movies? Thank you so much. Yeah, my weekend was pretty good, pretty good. Actually watched the horror movie The Exorcist from the 1973. Something for the first time. It was amazing. I love how body was bending, and yeah, I actually love horror movies. Overall, I like creepy stuff and horror things, things that are like a little bit wicked and uncomfortable. So yeah, and I definitely recommend the movie The Exorcist 1. I'm yet to see the next, parts. Yeah. I hope you like horror movies too, Sanjana, so you can let me know next submission what horror movies do you like the most, alright? And let's see what we have now, okay? Oh, and of course, thank you for your hard work as well. Okay, so it was like the background, and that was last time, and that was actually an amazing study. Okay, and then we have profile, and this is looking really good. Oh, you provided the clean references just in case for the chunks. Yeah, but I think like the way you handle the chunks, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It can work like this. Okay, and then for 3/4, we have this guy, which is also looking pretty good. And the chunks are also looking good, but I feel like you're focusing a little bit too much on making them like blocky. Maybe, for example, in here, I think I wouldn't really separate this like that. Like I would just try to keep this into like one thing. And like this line in here is gonna be enough to carry it. I think I wouldn't like bother with this. Okay, everything else seems pretty good, I feel like, with time we're gonna get even better at those chunks. But yeah, planes are looking great. The chunks are looking great. One thing in here also that I noticed, kind of push this nostril a little bit too much, so I'll push it this way. Okay, so that would be just like a little change, but other than that, amazing studies. So I very much think that you're ready for lesson 3, Sanjana. So congratulations. I'm gonna save it for the Discord so you can check out the changes. Okay. And for the profile one, yeah, I don't really have much critique. Also amazing. So good job. Keep working on the hair chunks. you know, keep working on the hair chunks, but the line weight and everything is definitely looking great. The structure is amazing. So yeah, just move on to lesson 3 and keep going. Amazing job, Sanjana. You're doing amazing, okay? I hope that helps. Okay, next up we have Lindsay. Whoa, okay. Hi, Julia. I don't have any specific questions. Please let me know if where I need to improve. Thank you. Okay, so that was last week. You know, cheekbone too big, making it a little bit slimmer. And in here, simplify the chunks a little bit more. Okay, and this is this time. All right, this one. Okay, pretty good. And this one. Yeah, okay, I see. So these 3. I feel like your lines got thinner this week for some reason. Okay. So I think, you know, like you have great tracings, Lindsay. But then like what worries me is that you do like different things in your tracings and different things in your freehand. So for example, I love how when you're tracing, the shapes for the cheekbones are like this. Right? So you have those like rectangles. And then like if you look at the ones you did in the freehand, like that's a completely different shape, right? And this shape doesn't really communicate the structure that well. And here you made it like bendy. So I think maybe you got like a little bit confused, but like definitely what you had in your tracing is like way better. I would do it exactly like this. Okay. Everything else is pretty good. Pretty good. So I'm gonna save it for the Discord so you can check it out. Because definitely in here cheekbones a little bit problematic. Then for the, I know this is like this on the reference, that left nostril looks a little bit bigger than the right nostril, but it's because of the shadow. He probably has same size of nostrils, and especially in the front views we always try to aim to like have as much symmetry as you possibly humanly can. So that's why I would make those nostrils like symmetrical, same way. Okay, so that would be for this guy. You know, everything else looking pretty good. Then for this guy, I don't really have much critique. I think it's like really good study. The only thing is that we kind of never really do this thing with like showing, we show like the pinch only on this side, we don't really show the pinch on the other side. So I would just keep it straight, you know, and it's gonna look way better. Okay, I'm gonna save it for Discord because it's such a small change, but like for the future, remember, you know, we don't really do this. Even if the guy has like a bump, you're gonna handle this in line weight. I wouldn't really complicate it with that in the planes. Okay, and then for this one, it's like first thing, still in lesson 2 we don't really open the mouths, like we still keep it close, just like if it was a lay-in. So I would just keep it simple, at the V of the mouth, you know, like this, and just like don't really open up the mouth. Okay, then still the hair chunks in here definitely too complex. Like I would, we don't really need this little hair. Like you're gonna kind of handle this more in the line weight, so definitely no need to add this for now. Really good job like capturing his what do you call it, like the split, so that's really good. But definitely all of this in here could be just like really like capturing the silhouette. So like this, and maybe like a line like this to show the form, like a bend line in here and a bend line in here, and that would be 100% enough. I don't have to do that much. And then for the cheekbone, again, it's just a little bit too much, too big, you know, so I would like make it a little bit smaller. Okay, so that would be the changes. So I'm gonna save it for the Discord, Lindsay, so you can check it out. Okay, so I think like you're pretty close. I feel like your best work was definitely, what did I do? Let me just save it. Oh my god. Hello? What is happening? That's weird. Well, I don't know what happened. But the thing is, for you, Lindsay, I feel like sometimes you get it, because, you know, in here you made like the cheekbone the perfect size, and then in here you made it again a little bit too big, and in here you got it like so good in the tracing, and then you like changed it. So remember, in front, always try to keep the cheekbones, like, you know, no matter the angle, you want them to be like parallel, you know. So this line, and this line, they should be parallel to each other, you know. So in here you had the shape like this. What that means, that, you know, they are not parallel to each other, and they should be. Okay, the size was great though, and everything else. So definitely watch out for that in front views. And this one is really good, like amazing job, just this little nose thing. And in here, you know, again, simplify the hair chunks a little bit more. Don't draw open mouths for now. It's gonna be in lesson 3. And still watch out for making the cheekbone a little bit too big. Okay? So work on that, Lindsay, and I will see you next week. Okay? Great job. Hope that helps. Okay. Next up we have Leah. Okay, and Leah says, "Hi Julia, hope you're doing well." Thank you so much, hope you're doing well as well. Last week I had a brain fart and made the cheekbones very tiny. Don't ask me why, I don't know either. Okay, well, I'm not asking, just happened. Shit happens, you know. So I focus on the cheekbones and on making the nose structure better. Okay, I updated the 2 from last week and added 2 new drawing. Okay, as always, I would love to know what I need to improve on to get to the next lesson. Alright, let's go, let's get it. And thank you so much for the feedback, Leah. Okay, you're so welcome. Let's see. First, let me see what happened last week. Oh yeah, that's a very small cheekbone. Okay, yeah, that's much better. That's much better, Leah. Yes, you found God. Okay, and then we have this one. Okay, this one, and this one. Okay, and I feel like now we went a little bit the opposite direction. So in here, this cheekbone is slightly too big. Just like a little bit. I feel like his cheekbone would be more like a little bit more of a this size, probably. I think a little bit higher, actually. You know, so just a little bit more, just a little bit smaller, you know, because it's almost like a front view. It's probably something a little bit more like this. Okay, and then this would go like this. And I think that would be like pretty good. If anything, maybe this needs to go a little bit higher. Okay, so I'm gonna save it for the Discord. You know, so I think like last time you pushed it too small, now you pushed it a little bit too big. So definitely next week you're gonna get it, you know. So see, like this is smaller than this, and then this is much bigger than this, so kind of more like the middle ground for this, what we are looking for. Okay, and then we have this one. Okay, and we have this one. Okay, with this one, again, the cheekbone is a little bit too big, and I think you got a little bit confused with his jaw. And I understand he has like a pretty weird jaw, but what we're trying to do is we try to simplify it, okay? So instead of doing like this, and like this weird situation, like you can just simplify it into something like this, you know? So you still have 1, 2, 3, 3 lines instead of 1, 2. Well, you still have 3, but the chin got like super elongated. So we like ignore this like bottom plane and we just do that. Okay, I'm gonna save it for the Discord so you can check it out. Okay, and for this one, and here I feel like the cheekbone have like the best sizes. So this one is looking pretty good. Okay. Yeah, I think this one is like your best work so far, Leah. Only think maybe the cheekbones are pushed a little bit too much in. But let's not worry about this too much. So yeah, this one I think it's your best work so far, Leah. This one is really good. I love how symmetrical the eyes are. Really good chunks. Really good size for the cheekbones. So I think you sometimes get it. So the biggest thing for you next week is still gonna be tackling a little bit the size of the cheekbones. So this week they're a little bit too big. So try making them a little bit smaller, but not as small as like last week. So like a middle ground. And also the way you do like your noses, I think you don't have to do this line in here. You can just do this and then like draw a little bit of this like bottom in here and just like control it by like this, so you don't really have to have this harsh line in here. Okay, so I'm gonna save it for the Discord as well. Okay, so biggest things for you, Leah, definitely gonna be, you know, still finding the correct size for the cheekbones, and then try to like do noses like this without the line. Okay, so great job, Leah. Hopefully this week it will go better. So, you know, just keep going. You're doing really good. You know, just work on the stuff I mentioned. Okay, great job. See you next week. Okay, next up we have Danilo. Okay, and Danilo says, "Hi Julia, hope you're doing well." Thank you so much. Hope you're doing well as well. This week I've worked on my planes for the first time, but didn't have much time to practice because it was a busy week. I think having I think I'm having trouble with hair chunks and with the ball of the nose. I would appreciate if you could point out something that I'm doing wrong that I'm not seeing. Thanks for the critique and have a nice week. Alright, thank you for your hard work and have a nice week as well. Let's look into that ball of the nose and hair chunks. Okay, so this is this week. Okay, this one, and this one. Yeah, I think you don't really have much trouble with the ball of the nose. I think you're doing it pretty much correctly, you know? Like, yeah, like how you're doing it is pretty good, you know? The only thing, like, sometimes you make it like super like a ball. It's actually better to make like a little bit of like this shape at the bottom and then you like draw the rest of the ball. So you get like this, and then you kind of try exaggerating this, and you get like this nice shape for the nose. So in here it would look like this, and then the bowl is a little bit smaller like that, and then you connect it and you're gonna get this effect going on. Okay, so that would be something. But yeah, I think generally you don't really have much struggle with the ball of the nose, so I don't think it's much of a concern. In here it's pretty good. Again, I would do the same. I would just try making this more like that, and that would be everything. Everything else, I think it's great balls. Everything is looking great for the balls. Now for the hair chunks, I feel like sometimes you get them really good, and sometimes you kind of struggle a little bit. I really like the chunks in here. I really like the chunks in here, and in here they're also pretty good. However, in here you definitely overcomplicated this situation, and I don't really have the clean reference to show you, but this is too much, you know, and you have like repetitive shapes, and it's not really working out well. I'm pretty sure we had like this pinned, okay. Yeah, so something, those are like old chunks though. You can check out this one by Sanjana. They're pretty good, but it's still not exactly it. But the thing is, you are complicating it too much. And also for next week, if you're doing like tracing on both, like, can you please still like send me the clean reference so I can show you something, because I cannot really see much in here. So these are too complicated. In here, the only thing I can say is that they're pretty good, but you're kind of trying to force the bottom, like the side plane, a little bit too much. Like, I would allow this to be just like a metal sheet. You don't have to always force the side plane. In here it's really good, and in here it's really good as well. So sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. So with the chunks, definitely less complicated, and you don't have to push in the side every time, like, you know, it's only sometimes when it like fits. So whatever you did for chunks in here and in here, like, just continue doing that. And then one thing I wanted to say is you still need some work with the cheekbone. So if we were to do a cheekbone for this guy, your cheekbones are a little bit too much like squares. They need to be more like rectangles. So this shape instead of this shape. Okay. So in here it would be something like probably a little bit higher. Okay, like this and like that. Okay, so hopefully you can see the difference. So it's about making it more like a rectangle rather than a square. Okay, so I'm gonna save it for the Discord. So really good job, Danilo. So my biggest feedback for next week, make sure your hair chunks get a little bit more simplified, and that you're not forcing the sides of the chunks every time. And that, excuse me, then for the cheekbone, more rectangular and a little bit smaller. Okay, in here it's like similar problem, and in here it's pretty good. Okay, so work on that stuff, Danilo, and I will see you next week. Okay, but great job, you're doing really good. I hope that helps. Okay, next up we have Juliet, and Juliet says, hi Julia. Hi Julia, I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much, Juliet. I hope you're doing well as well. You know? This week's portrait, I focus on what you told me to make sure that my freehand matches the reference and the lay-in. I think that I managed that everything facial feature follow the overall perspective. Okay, that's good. Did I manage to implement the feedback correctly? Okay, let's see. So wait. We have last time. Yeah, we're all like going different directions. Okay, and here like trouble with the shape of the face. Okay, and here like a little bit too complex here, and this was also like going different directions. Okay, and now we have this one. Okay, and I still feel like, you know, for example, this chin is like angled like this, but then, you know, you have this eye area going this direction, and I think like every single feature should pretty much like follow this. Okay, so I would like, oh, it's on the same layer. So I would just, you know, do this measurement, and you can like put it to like everything and see if it matches, right? And I feel like it kind of does for the most part, and then like boom, for the chin, like you went completely different direction. But on the reference, you can still see that his chin is still very much aligned to his like brow line, you know? So still be careful with that. You know? Other than that, I feel like it's definitely getting better. I really like what you did for the silhouette in here with the simplification in comparison to last week. So that's really, really good. So first thing would be definitely still working on that, you know, aligning everything to the same perspective, you know, not making the chin. Especially watch out for the chin, because like looking here, you also did that. So be super careful with that. Yeah, and I think that would be my biggest feedback. You know, everything else is looking pretty good. Like you seem to understand like the planes for the lips. For the nose, it's just a matter of, again, like a little bit of those angles. So if you look at your nostril in here, that would be like the angle of this nostril if we draw through it. And then for this nostril, that would be more of an angle for this nostril. So see, yours is like just more tilted. So that's still something to like watch out for. Okay. So yeah, I think for now it's still gonna be about like managing those angles. Now remember that you can always go to lesson 2 channel, and I'm pretty sure we have like a lot of examples, so you can just study, you know, for example this one, you know, you can see how everything is aligned. This one too, really good example. You can really observe how like each of those features is really on the same line, like they're all parallel to each other. Okay. So really good job, Juliet. Just keep going, keep working on it, especially watch out for this chin, and just try, you know, like literally do what I did, you know, just like draw through this, all of this, and make sure that everything is aligned. Okay, so great job, and I will see you next week. Okay, hope that helps. Okay, next up we have lesson 1 people, and we have Felipe. Okay, and Felipe says, hi Julia, hope you're doing well. Thank you so much, I hope you're doing well as well. I'm very excited to finally get some feedback on my work. Looking forward to your comments. Oh, first time? Hello, welcome to the live streams. You know, I'm here and I'm trying to help each of you as much as I can, you know. For as long as I have been doing those lay-ins, keeping my lines clean and getting that build-up look has been a struggle. Being zoomed out at all times makes it even harder. What do you think? Okay, well, before I look at any work, I think it's like a balance of being zoomed in and like zoomed out. And zooming out definitely helps with like looking at the shapes, but sometimes it's also okay to zoom in a little bit to like polish stuff. If there are other major mistakes in there, please let me know. Cheers, Felipe. Okay, let's see. So we have this one and we have this one. All right. Yeah, I can definitely see, you know, the lines being a problem. But I also feel like you have a bit of trouble still breaking down the reference. So I think we have a good example of this one. Oh yeah, this one, okay. So I hope, Felipe, you know, we have like good examples on, oh my god, on the Discord. So yeah, we have this example in here, which is a really good example for this reference. And what I want to talk about is definitely the tracing. Okay, so if we look at your tracing versus this tracing, you can see that there's like a difference, you know. And the difference is like, for example, in the way that this person here is wrapping all the circles, right? So see how your circle is kind of like a little bit like wobbly and kind of looks like a water balloon or something. Whereas this in here, it's like a very solid ellipse, like that, you know? And the other one is also like a very solid ellipse, like that, okay? And then yours is kind of like a teardrop shape. So definitely this would require to be more structural, okay? So that's one thing. Then if we look at the side of the head, see how yours is going to the top? And in here it's like taking a turn, and it actually looks more structural. Then look at your eye socket, I mean eyeballs. You know how this person actually like made them somewhat circular, and this is kind of like an ellipse that's like elongated, and we're shooting for a circle, you know. And this is also a little bit of like elongated ellipse, just different direction. But I feel like it's less severe. Okay, and I can like keep going like this, you know. You can also look at the way this person traced the nose, you know, like more truthful to what's on the reference, you know, like angle wise. If you look at the, let me move it here. If you look at the angle of this guy's nose, it's not as upright as you did it. It's more like this, right? Like how the person in here did it. And all of those little things, they contribute to making your guy not really look like him, you know. So I think you need to like spend more time doing your tracing. You know, you can literally spend like an hour or two just doing the tracing, to make sure you understand everything and everything is just looking structural, because your tracing is a reflection of your freehand. You're only as good as your tracing. So if your tracing is like questionable, think about your freehand, right? So I'm gonna save it for the Discord so you can check it out. So I think yes, your lines definitely could get a little bit lighter. Like all you need to do is take an eraser when you're finished with your work and just gently fade them a little bit for now, so they are not as dark, because I feel like thickness wise they're even kind of clean, but what's really like holding you back is like how dark they are, okay? And then the structure. So what you should do is work more on your tracing, and definitely go into the Discord, look at the good examples of lesson 1, and just pick one and do a study of it, you know. Look how the tracing looks, look how the freehand looks, and I think it's gonna help you a lot, okay? So great job, Felipe. See you next week, okay? Really happy to have you, but work on this stuff. Definitely check out the Discord, check out the good examples. They are really helpful. Okay, so great job, keep going, see you next week. Okay, then we have Matthias. Okay, and Matthias says, hi coach. Okay, my name is Julia, you know, so you don't have to be like, hi coach. You know, we know each other now, you know, hello, nice to meet you. I bought this course months ago, but because of life stuff, I stopped practicing when I started doing lesson 2. Now I'm back and I hope to finally finish it. So I rewatched the videos and tried some drawings. I think that my weak points are the eye area, the jaw, and the lines. I used to be pretty self-aware. And yeah, by the way, welcome. Hello to the live streams again. I'm here, I'm Julia, and I'm gonna do my best to help you, you know, with my feedback and, you know, just help you out so you can progress as fast as you can. Okay? I'm glad you're back, you know, I'm glad you took a break and then you came back to this course. It's definitely worth it. Okay? But if there is something else, let me know. Probably I'll not participate to the live stream, but I can't wait to watch your review of my work and know on what I should focus on while practicing. Alright, I can definitely do that. Thank you for everything. P.S. Sorry if my English is not good. I'm not a native English speaker. Matthias. Okay, that's completely chill. Me neither. But I definitely understood everything you had to say, so I think, you know, your English definitely fine. Okay? So, okay, this is this week. Okay, so you don't really need to include the shading process folder. You can just remove that. Okay. And this is your first lay-in. Okay. It definitely looks like your first lay-in. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah, I think that you're just like pretty new to this. So I would just recommend you to definitely get onto the Discord in here in lesson 1 or overpaints and then lesson 1 and 2 and check out some good examples for the lay-in because, you know, if you've been on your own doing this for quite a long time, you might have like picked up some bad habits. So it's definitely important to just head onto the Discord and kind of look at some good examples like this, so you can kind of understand what is the level that you should be shooting for. Okay, so I'm gonna bring up this study in here because it's kind of a similar angle. And it's really no, not even about the. It's like right now, what you need to understand, Matthias, is the tracing. So see how your tracing is like a little bit messy, and like this tracing in here is like really clean. You can see everything. So that's like super important. Okay, so like that's the standard that we are currently having. So it's really about like just capturing the overall structure, and I feel like you're a little bit focused on capturing like all the unimportant stuff, like all the little bumps and then like the nose looking a little bit weird. So just focus on like simplification, you know. So in here we don't really draw this bump, you just go straight in and you find your eye area like that. So you get the eye area, very simple. And then for the nose, we are not trying to capture this weird nose. All you do, a smaller line here, a little bit bigger line in here, and then you connect it, and you're gonna end up with something that looks like this. So it's just like a block, and it's actually like really structural and simple, you know. And that would be your nose for this guy, you know, very simple, not making anything weird with it, just very simple. Okay, And then for the eyes, make sure that you're going from here to here without the tear duct, but make sure that it is a circle and not an egg. Okay, so definitely we are aiming for a circle. So I'm gonna save it for the Discord, so you can check it out. Every time the overpaints are being posted in lesson 1 to 2 overpaints channel, so you can see what I did on the live stream. But definitely when you're gonna head to this channel, go into pinned messages and just, you know, for example, take this reference and study how this person did the tracing and how they did the freehand, and just do like a study of a good example, you know, so you can kind of see what are the standards for lesson 1. So work on that, Matthias. Very happy to have you on the live streams. So just go into the Discord and do like one study of a good example, okay? I think that's gonna help you clear out some stuff. And definitely the most important things right now, simplifying the nose, avoiding adding bumps, and making the eyeballs more circular, okay? So great job, see you next week, happy to have you. Hope that helps. Okay, next up we have Jihun, okay? And Jihun says, my name is Jihun. John, okay, I'm just gonna call you John then. Remember, and this will be my first submission to the portrait bootcamp. Okay, amazing. Hello, welcome to the live stream. My name is Julian. I'm gonna try my best to help you, you know. I believe that my lines could still use a lot more work, and will try to be better next week. Is there anything else glaringly obvious you see that I need to improve? My proportions and perspective maybe. Thank you. Okay, so you think your issue is the line and you're not sure about proportions and perspective. Okay, so this is this week and this is this week. Yeah, and I don't think you really have like trouble with your lines. I think your lines are really good. So are the proportions and perspective. So maybe let's I really wouldn't change much in here, but I have some stuff to say about this guy. So first of all, in lesson 1, we don't draw open mouths. So just keep this like closed. You know, very simple. You don't need to have it open. You can just look like this. All right. And similar to the person before you, we don't draw those bumps for now. Just try to keep it simple, you know, and structural. We are not trying to capture any bumps. Same in here. You don't have to like do bump, bump, bump. You can just simplify this into one line so it looks more structural, because in lesson 1 we just want the 3D effect. Okay, and then really important, this is like a great start for a nose, but the more but it's important to introduce this line in here like this and straighten this out. So that what you did is like a great start, but this is how you further break down the nose into more 3D shapes. Okay, and also like this and like that. Okay, and this probably. Okay, so before and after. So I'm gonna save it for the Discord. So I think you don't have to really worry about your lines, but I would just, you know, make sure that you're working on, you know, making the noses more boxy, more structural, avoiding adding any sort of bumps, simplifying more the outer cheek, you know, also that's part of it, like remove the bumps. And then remember, in lesson 1, the mouth is always closed. Okay, the side view is actually really good, So I think you can just like now work on 3/4 and the front views, because I think that's a really, really good side view. I think you understand the side views, okay? So for next week, I just want to see another 3/4 and maybe a front, with you keeping in mind this stuff I mentioned. But yeah, you just need to keep going. Your lines are good, so just keep going, and I will see you next week. All right. Great job, John. Happy to have you on the streams. Okay, next up we have Jack. And Jack says, "Hi, Julia. Here are my drawings for this week. Last time you told me to work on making my faces more structural and more simplified, okay? And make the nose taper more. I hope this new drawing addressed the previous issues." I hope so too. I have no new questions, but I hope that my work will soon be good enough for lesson 2. I hope so too. I just want you guys to progress as fast as you can. Thank you for your help this week, and thank you for your hard work, Jack. Okay, let's see what you did. So this was last time. Okay, a lot of those like bumps happening. Okay, yeah, simplified. That's what you need. You know, remove all the bumps, make it more simplified. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, this is really, really good, Jack. I think you understood something. Okay. Huh. Wow, especially this one. This one is so, so, so good. I only think like the jaw is a little bit crooked, but other than that, this is an amazing work. Okay, so just this. Yeah, but other than that, wow, guys, look at this nose. Literally perfect. The eyeballs too. Yeah, and this one also great simplification. I only feel like his head could be a little bit more volume. Like, great that you didn't draw like the hair, but I feel like a little bit more volume to this head wouldn't be bad. Okay, so yeah, Jack, I feel like now you definitely understood it. I feel like you're ready, honestly. I feel like you're ready. There's nothing in this lane that would like stop you from like a successful lesson 2. I feel like if the lines in here were like a little bit more built up, I think I would give it a green sword. So definitely great job. You understand lesson 1 pretty well. So congrats, Jack. Move on to lesson 2 and try out some planes. For the lesson 2 though, make sure that you're using a little bit of a thicker brush, because I feel like your lines are a little bit on the thinner side. So that would be the stump. And I feel like your lines are like this, like a little bit too small. So definitely try aiming for a bigger brush. So I'm gonna save it for the Discord, you know, but structure-wise, really good. So great job, Jack. See you next week. Try out some planes. Okay, hope that helps. Next up we have Ihab. And Ihab says, "Hi Julia, I'm quite comfortable with the 3/4 view and kind of okay with front view. Not much of an issue. However, side view is a pain. I hardly can find anything to align the features to. Like at one side there is this smooth round skull, and the other side all the features. Any tip to work around that? I will elaborate more in question ref folder." Okay, Ihab the doodle animal. Okay, well, let's see where the issue lies. Okay, question ref. The cyan are horizontal vertical lines only that I use as a reference. Okay, the orange are corner points I search for. Yeah, that is really good. That's exactly what you should be doing, taking all sorts of measurements, whatever you can, to make it accurate. Okay, And then those are your works. Okay, definitely pretty accurate. This one too. This one a little bit weird. Oh my god, the eye is so small and it looks like a little bird. Oh my god, it's a little bird. And he's like talking to a different bird in here. Wow, amazing. You are a storyteller. Okay, and this is old one. Okay, so that was last time. And then we had this one, and this one. Yeah. And I feel like this one is definitely still kind of vibe of this one, so not the greatest. You know, the eyeballs should be bigger, and just like the build-up is a little bit weird. But this one in here, it's pretty solid. I don't know if this is what you refer to when you meant the side, but I feel like you handle it pretty well. I think the biggest thing is that, you know, the arch always has to touch the eye area. So definitely make sure that it touches. Well, that's a little bit weird, but I think we can make it work. Maybe just this needs to be longer then. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Like the eye area was just a little bit too small. And now this is gonna reach and look great. Okay, this, and then we need to... This is a little bit crooked now. Oh, that would require more solving, okay, but you know, the thing is, the eye area needed to be a little bit stretched. And then like more build up, like everything on the lay-in should be built up equally. So the line for the second circle should be as built up as everything else. Okay, like this. And then, you know, I'm not gonna do everything, but just so you know, each line should be equally built up. And then in here, definitely not trying to do like this sticking out chin, just keep it with one line. And you can introduce like a little bit of straight line in here, and it should look pretty good. So I don't really know what do you mean with like you're saying that you struggle with this side. I don't think this side is bad. I think it's pretty good, aside from the arch not touching and the build-up situation. So I'm just gonna save it for the Discord so you can check it out. So in here it's really like building up this, you know, simplifying this into one line, making sure that the arch is touching the eye area always. But besides that, a pretty solid study. Okay, and this one is pretty solid too, but I definitely prefer the way you did the second mouth circle on the tracing rather than on your freehand. Because look at the space in here. So like this is how much space you have in here, and this is how little space you have in here. So I would make sure that the second mouth circle is more like this, not that circular. Okay, so I'm gonna save it for the Discord as well. But other than that, EHAP, I feel like you're doing really, really good. This is actually really good front. So I think you should just like keep going. So for next week, I want to see a new 3/4, new front, and another side. So for fronts, just make sure you're controlling the width of the second circle. Okay. For the side, definitely make sure that the area touches the arch, and then like, you know, build up everything equally on the face. This one is kind of bad, so I'm just gonna, you know, pretend that this was like a slip up. But in here, you know, the eyeballs are too small. The lines, again, like everything needs to be built up equally, not like this. The neck is like too complex. So whatever you did for this one and for this one, you're on a good path. So just keep going. I want to see 3 more for next week so I can judge with you like watching out for the stuff that I mentioned. Okay, so great job, EHAP. Keep going. I will see you next week, okay? But great lines, great proportions, pretty good structure. You just have some little things to polish and you're gonna be ready, okay? So great job. Keep going. Okay, next up we have Daniela. And Daniela says, "Hi Julia. Last week I was too busy, so I did not put more time in drawing, and my proportions were off as you noticed, okay? I have worked more this week, so any feedback is appreciated." Okay, that's really good, Daniela. Let's see what you did. We just turn on the lamp so we can have some light on me. Okay, and I'm gonna pour myself a little bit of water because my throat kind of, you know, not the greatest after an hour of talking. Okay, so let's see Daniela's work. That was last time. Definitely proportions suffered a little bit. Okay, and this is this time. Ooh, this one is really good. Okay, then we have this one, also pretty good. Yeah, and this one also pretty good. Yeah, I think like all of those three, I like this one the most. I think it's like nearly perfect, really good. This one also, like, there's nothing in this one that would like stop you in lesson 2. I feel like great proportions, everything in the right places. In here though, everything is great, but I would be careful and like make this a little bit smaller like this. And I feel like you're showing a little bit too much of the bridge of the nose. Like I would just show literally just a little bit like this, not the entire thing. I'm gonna save it for Discord so you can check it out. But yeah, overall I feel like you're definitely ready to try out some lesson 2, Daniela. So definitely a lot of improvement from last week. Literally like a different person did this one and this one, so that's amazing progress. Really proud of you, Daniela. So just, yeah, I think you're ready for lesson 2. So great job, Daniela. Move on to lesson 2 and keep going, you know, congrats. It's looking great. Okay. I think that's again. And then we have Brandon Zait. Okay, and Brandon says, "Hey Julia, first week into Portrait Accelerator, so no last week drawings." Alright, hello, welcome to the live stream. You know, I'm Julia, and I'm gonna do my best to help you out, you know, and help you progress as fast as we can. The 2 questions I have are my brow line and second mouth circle in the right place. Okay, let's see. Oh, wow. Oh my god, I can barely see it, Brandon. Oh my god. Literally, I feel like this meme with like, I think Jackie Chan like looking at something because it's just like such a small lines. Listen, I cannot really judge that. You need to build up your lines and use a bigger brush, okay? So I'm gonna pull up an example. Okay, so here's the example. This is like the kind of lines that you should be aiming for. Like I feel like your structure is actually not that bad. Like I feel like you kind of understand stuff, but your lines, like I cannot see anything. So if the brush you're using is like I don't like this and like super faded, so that's the brush that you're using. Look, like how small is the stump, and then the lines in here were made with brush of this size. See, and they're like silky and pretty big, and that's how big your brush should be, okay? Like this, not like that. So I think at this point I cannot really give you like much advice on like the structure because I can barely see anything. So what you need to work on, Brandon, is definitely your lines using a bigger brush, and then we will talk about the structure. I think like it kind of looks okay based on your tracing, but I would need to see it like with good lines, okay? So continue doing what you're doing. I feel like it's pretty good, but I need to see it with lines like this. All right. So work on that, Brandon, and I will see you next week. Really happy to have you. So just work on those lines, and then we will check out those brows and like everything else. Okay. So great job. Keep going. Thank you for submitting. See you next week. All right. Okay, and now we have Brandon. Brandon said, "Hi Julia, the key area that I had to work on was to add more curviness to my jawlines as I was making them too angular. Cheers." Okay. So we have this one. Hopefully I got the good file because I think like I had some problem with getting Brandon's file last time. So let me just check out real quick if we have it. Yeah, but I think we do. All right. So let's see. This was previous. Very angular jaws. Okay. Okay, and this is this week. Oh, definitely a lot of improvement. Okay, all right. So this was last time and this is this time. Yeah, definitely so much improvements. Brandon, this looks so much better. Okay, and then we have this one and we have this one. Yeah, definitely a lot of improvements on Brandon's side, like great jaws now. Let me look at it again. Okay, like what's kind of something that's like similar in all of them. I'm not exactly sure, but I feel like something that I noticed in all of your works in here is that there's something to like the proportions or like to lips. It's like a little bit like your lanes are great, but they kind of don't really look that much like the reference, and I'm not sure exactly why. So I think we have this one done. So maybe let's take a look at that. Okay, so I don't know if you're using the good examples, Brandon, but I hope you do. So I feel like what you're missing right now is just like spending more time to capture like a little bit more of the likeness of the reference, right? And how you do it is by like, you know, for example, when you're capturing the nose, you can like look at the proportions. So like this guy has like tiny at the top and then like significantly bigger at the bottom. So in terms of bridge, I think that would be kind of what is, I think actually like lower like this. So this is kind of like the shape he would be having. Oh, then this a little bit curved. Okay, and you will get like his nose is just like a little bit wider than what you did. Okay, and then like for the outer of his jaw, like I feel like it's like this, and then it goes a little bit out, but like a little bit more than you did, and then it goes like pretty much straight. But it's like just I don't really know how to pinpoint it, what it is, but you just need to like pay more attention to the reference and try capturing the shapes a little bit more accurate. Because like this very much feels like this guy, but yours kind of doesn't. So I'm gonna save it for the save it for the Discord so you can check it out. And then in here, it's also like, I feel like the jaw is a little bit like too low, like his is a little bit higher, I feel like. And just like maybe you simplified it a little bit too much, because it looks like he has it just a little bit more rounder, and you made it like super straight. So maybe that would be something to keep in mind. And then if we look at the lips, his lips go like from here to here, and I feel like your lips are not big enough. So I feel like the lips for this guy be something like this. Okay. And probably try introducing like a little bit more of like curves, because this is like a perfect U shape, but you can add a little bit of a straight line in here. It's gonna help. Okay. I'm gonna save it for the Discord as well. So I feel like great thing for you, Brandon, at this point would be to go onto the Discord and lesson 1 channel, and maybe just try doing like one study of one thing from here, you know, like exact study, because I feel like you almost get it. Like you just need like to get some of those like subtleties in, what we call. So maybe like just pick one of those references and do like your own version, like look how people do it, and just try making your lane look similar to the reference. Because right now, like everything looks very structural, very good, but it just doesn't look like the guys on the photos. So it's definitely a lot of progress. So I would just recommend you to go onto the Discord and just study some of the good examples in here, and I feel like you're gonna be good. Okay, so great job, Brandon. Just work on the stuff I mentioned, and I will see you next week. Okay, great job. All right, and lastly we have Alshat, and Alshat says, "Hi Julia, hi, hope you're doing well. Thank you so much. Hope you're doing well as well. Last week, more mileage, work on the nose. I don't have any questions. Thank you, Alshat Akbar." Okay. So noses and mileage. So that was last week. Okay. All right. Definitely noses. Okay. And this is this week. Oh, okay. Pretty good. Pretty good. Okay. This one. All right. Also pretty good. And then this one. Wow. Definitely you're getting so much better than last week, Alshat. Let me think about it. I feel like something that I saw in not all of them, but like some of them, lay-ins, is that I feel like you're adding sometimes like unnecessary stuff. Oh, there's also this one. So for example, in here, you added like you broke it down into this and that, but it's very like not necessary. All that's needed in here is like this line, like one line instead of two. So 1, 2, and it should be 1, like this. See, like that. We never add those bumps, so that's something to watch out for. Okay. And I think you did similar thing for this guy. Again, like you got confused and added like this and that. But again, in here, it's gonna be just one line, and then we're gonna worry about it in lesson 3. And then for the lips, also, like you don't have to do like the V for now. You could have just kept it simple like this, add a little bit of weight in here and in the middle, and that would be perfectly fine. Okay. And in here, definitely be careful with the bump. It's more like this. as you can see, it didn't contribute to any less likeness. It's still very much looking like this guy. And also in here, one thing that I noticed is that your eye area is a little bit too tall. I feel like the eye area would be more like this, so the top of the eyebrows, but not necessarily like so much the like so low, a little bit higher, because you got it super wide and it's like kind of looking unnatural. And like with that, it will actually be like easier for you to make it like simple. So I'm gonna save it for the Discord as well for you, Alshat. So yeah. In here, I feel like you're still gonna need some work with the profiles. Because like, especially for in here, like the nose. So this should go much in. This is going more in. And this is going out. And this should be more like this. We also don't add that in here. So all you do is do this, okay? So definitely for the side views, you still will need to work more and really like observe the negative shapes in here to make sure that you're capturing exactly how it is, okay? So you can even do this, so like mark this, and this way you will see everything more clearly. Just make sure you do it like accurate, not like me, really quick. Okay, and this way you will really see everything clearly and you're gonna have better idea how to draw it, you know? I'm gonna save it for the Discord. That's like a great technique that you can use for the side views. So you basically do like a mark it with like a blob, and this way you're gonna see clearly the shape that you need to capture. Okay, and then remember, don't add like the underplane connected straight to the jaw. In here, watch out for the bumps. Also, don't add like weird stuff to the lips. Be careful with making the eye area too tall. And then in here, similar thing, avoid the bumps. Everything else in here, pretty good. And this one is overall like a pretty good lay-in. So I will just ask you to, you know, keep going. Just do 3 more. Watch out for the stuff that I mentioned, but you're definitely going in the good direction. All right. And lastly, for the lines, I feel like your lines got like really rigid. So probably still you could benefit from using like slightly bigger brush and pressing lightly. So that would be the brush stamp that I'm using, and I feel like yours are more like this. So make your brush bigger like that. Okay, I'm gonna save it for the Discord as well. Okay, so great job, all chat. Keep going. You're doing really, really good. Okay, hope that helps. Okay, and that was everybody for today. So thank you so much, guys, for being here, for working. Everybody, keep grinding, keep going, and I will see you next week. All right, bye bye, warriors.